This is the motherfucking Fun Doctor Show on a Thursday as we dive in, as we attack all of the various dumbass situations in the world. We're back to back 24 hours apart because there's too much stupid shit in the world for us not to talk about it, because this world is dumb as hell, and at all times we must discuss how fucking stupid it is. And before we go into the things we actually enjoy talking about, sports, all those things that are actually fun, basketball, football, and whatnot, I just want to point out a few things really quick. Number one, Trump has fired yet another member of his administration. And, it's not shocking that Pam Bondi isn't the attorney general. I mean, no one has lost in court more times than Donald Trump, right? Donald Trump loses in court more often than I literally don't even have a joke for it. He loses in court so often, he's his own joke. The joke is Donald Trump loses in court more often than Donald Trump. That's literally the punchline to that joke. That's the world that we live in. And so, I'm surprised. I am surprised that Jeanine Pirro still exists within the Trump orbit, but Pam Bondi got ousted. But hey, listen, whatever, right? It is what it is. So, and of course, it's a woman, right? Because the people who always take the fall for Trump are women. And just remember, Trump has never beat a man running for president. He has beaten two different women, and both of those women were better people than him, and one of them actually beat him in terms of popular vote. But the point is that it burns him to his core that the one race he ran against a man, he lost, and that all he has done in terms of presidential elections is beat. That's why his sexism has been ratcheted up to 8 million. And we all sort of laugh about that, but then it ends up with really negative effects towards women. So that's not cool. But when those effects are people like Pam Bondi being fired, that's very funny. That's extremely, extremely funny, because she's a horrible person who repeatedly brought bullshit charges against people who didn't deserve them. Our entire Department of Justice has been politicized and used to wrangle people who have done essentially nothing. Someone throws, a can of paint at a police car and they're charged with terrorism. And again, Jeanine Pirro goes on television. I can't even, they're teenagers. We need to lower the laws so I can arrest everyone for everything and put them all in jail while I drink wine. Again, we're living in the dumbest fucking timeline, full of the dumbest fucking people. And on top of all of this stupidity, we have fired like a huge chunk of the missiles that we have remaining. So let's say that you believe falsely that America has some sort of military superiority and that, we're capable of doing whatever we want in a militaristic situation. Your Secretary of War, which, by the way, for a guy who thinks that everything that's like gay and feminine is whatever, he sure is a secretary. I think that we should really focus on that. I think that we should just focus on calling him Secretary Hegseth. Just Secretary Hegseth. Just keep calling him Secretary. Yes, Secretary. Not Mr. Secretary, not the Secretary, not Department of War Secretary Hegseth, or, he's probably calls himself a director. I don't care. We should call him the Secretary, which, by the way, an awesome term from Mission Impossible. If I refer to you as the Secretary, I am in fact referring to you as the Secretary of the IMF, so I would never call him that. But this is something that will hurt his feelings. And as we know, anything you can say to hurt the feelings of a toxically masculine conservative man is extremely funny and well warranted. And on top of all of this, as I was saying before, this dumbass has burned through the majority of our missiles, firing at nothing, honestly. Now, number one, we shouldn't be firing missiles at anything. Like, truly, we shouldn't be firing missiles at anything. War is full of shit. You're a fucking asshole if you fire missiles. But imagine that he's so stupid that he's firing missiles at nothing. It's honestly good. This guy's such a dumb piece of shit that he fires so many missiles into the desert for no reason, that a bunch of the American military supply is being depleted because Pete Hegseth cannot stop jerking off when he launches missiles. It's honestly kind of good. Now, we don't want to let this guy anywhere near the nukes, of course. But when you go look at how much money Pete Hegseth has spent as the Secretary of War, billions on missiles, millions on steak and lobster of the men and women that he sends to their deaths. It's truly amazing, yet again, that every single Republican who signs on for this doesn't seem to understand that there will be consequences. It's sort of like how you see Jaden Ivey, that stupid piece of shit former NBA player who went on and on about how he hates gay people. No problem with Zion Williamson fucking multiple OnlyFans models and getting them pregnant and begging them to get abortions. No problem with Anthony Edwards having multiple children with multiple women, begging those women to get abortions, demanding that they take child support in the cheapest state possible so that he can take the least money, he can pay the least money possible. Jaden Ivey had nothing to say about any of this stuff. Jaden Ivey, who beat his wife, Jaden Ivey, who had a porn addiction. This man sees fit to let everyone know that if you don't hate gay and trans people, you're a piece of shit. That's conservative thought. That's who is the leader of their zeitgeist. And by the way, if you went and watched Jaden Ivey today, he went out and said that he recently has overdosed trying to kill himself on oxycodone. So this man is not speaking from some sort of religious righteousness. He's speaking from mental illness and depression and trying to kill himself. Because no matter what you think about religion, what you think about homosexuality, about immigrants, about whatever, what we know about Jesus from the Bible is that Jesus was friends with everyone. He befriended those who, I don't need to explain the Bible to Christians who supposedly have read it, but let he who is without sin cast the first stone. As we know about Jesus, he accepted everyone for who they were, whether or not he agreed with it. You don't have to agree with anything. Just shut the fuck up about it. And conservatives cannot do that. And they feed into their hatred. And it ends up leading them to be people like Pete Hegseth, who are bombing boats in Venezuela, who are now Trump saying that, the only condition that he will discuss anything that goes on in Iran is if the Strait of Hormuz is opened with no terms, which is never going to occur. We live in the dumbest timeline, full of the dumbest people who are in control. I mean, what else is there to be said? I read a bunch of dumb shit on the morning of April Fool's that I fell for because I was exhausted and hadn't woken up yet, and I was just sort of waking up for the morning, and I was sitting at my desk, preparing for work, and I'm opening my email, and I'm reading dumbass headlines, and I'm like, what? This is crazy. And then I realize it's April Fool's, and I'm a fucking moron. And then the next day, you read a bunch of things that Trump said, and they're dumber than anything that you read on April Fool's Day. No love like Christian hate, no hate like Christian love. We are spoiled this week because we're going to get a second show. And as frustrating as life is, yesterday was all kinds of pain. But today is better because today we're going to do something that actually makes the world a better place. We're going to invite one of the few people that we actually enjoy talking to around here that isn't, that isn't a fight, that isn't bullshit. Let's just do it. Let's bring the one person who knows what they see to say. Let's do it now.
Finally, the bee has come back to the Blunt Doctor Show. What up, everybody? You already know what it is. I don't even need to do the intro. Y'all know who I am. Those who know. Shout out to the people in the chat for always showing up whenever I'm here. Makes me feel loved in some weird way. Appreciate you guys.
The people in the chat are significantly, the chat numbers are way higher when you're here. There's no question about that. The solo shows is significantly less chat. It's much more people text me on my phone being like, sorry, I couldn't be in the chat. But no, I'm just so it is honestly God true, and we are back. It is, I mean, I don't know what's good. I don't know what's bad. I don't know what's real anymore. I don't know what's fake. We're in a world we can't handle any scenarios. And you know how I know we're in like the most ridiculous world that none of us could ever comprehend? Is Kirk Cousins has a 5-year contract with the Raiders.
Whoa. When I seen the report, I didn't realize it was that long of a deal.
I mean, listen. This is bullshit. This is a fake interpretation of that contract. This is a lot like when Donovan McNabb signed that extension with the Washington, the Commanders, that was 5 years and 78. It's a lot of but it's not nothing because there's 2 void years. So we'll ignore those 2. But on top of the first year, which is guaranteed, there is a 2-year, $80 million option that the Raiders have the ability to pick up, which basically is saying to Fernando Mendoza, if you suck, we have a 2-year, $80 million option on Kirk Cousins. Like, listen, I will love Tom Brady forever. I will always love him. But we're really approaching Michael Jordan territory here with how dumb he is as an executive. I mean, what are we doing? Talk to me.
Is there the off chance that maybe they are gonna trade that first for some assets or something?
I mean, that would be the dumbest shit in the world. Dude, who is not believing in
Mendoza?
So
we're really good. He's gonna do this again because he did it with Michael Penix, and now he's gonna do it with.
I know. That's what's fucking crazy. First of all, let's just start with the first question. I think we've talked about this. You're a Mendoza guy, right? You believe in Mendoza.
Yeah, I think he's nice.
Yeah, I agree. I think Mendoza is a franchise quarterback.
He's a baller.
Yeah, I'm 100% in on Mendoza all the way. So this is dumb as shit. Like, what are you doing? Why are you doing like what is Brady is like, you know what? That situation with me and Garoppolo went really well. I want to recreate that. What are we doing?
Oh man, I don't know, bro. I wish I could tell you.
I mean, and again, most likely, the remaining 4 years of this contract are just waived, and Mendoza is playing the second half of the season, and it's all good. But the fact that the Raiders felt the need to negotiate a long-term extension into this contract just in case. Like, if I'm Fernando Mendoza, I'm not feeling good about that. That's not, I would hate that. I would fucking hate that.
Yeah. Well, that's why I say I feel like maybe they're planning a trade to get assets and move down in the draft. Maybe, I don't know.
I mean, that would be one of the dumbest things I've ever seen. But I guess if you just don't believe in Mendoza, So the question for me then on top of this is, how do you feel about rookie quarterbacks starting? And not historically, but today. Because I think that's a different question than it was 10 years ago.
Yeah,
I'm curious what you think about that today.
I feel like the Cam Newtons and the Andrew Lucks of the world kind of like made us forget that a lot of like the first round QBs, like going back to old days, like even though they were first round, they ended up like sitting for a year or something like that. Like Aaron Rodgers was the first round. Granted, he was at the end, even though a lot of people thought the Niners should draft him. Neither here nor there. He was a first round talent QB, and he sat for what was it, like 3 years or something like that. Like Patrick Mahomes, he didn't start his first year. So and Deshaun Watson, like he originally started the season sitting, and I guess who was it? Was it TJ Yates or something like that?
Didn't they bench him at the first half of the first game?
Yeah,
Deshaun Watson, like.
But like the point is, they originally had Yates going to start for that season.
Yeah, so. Brady sat his first season behind Drew Brees.
Bledsoe.
And Philip Rivers sat his first 2 seasons behind. Brady sat behind Drew Bledsoe. Philip Rivers sat behind Drew Brees.
Yeah.
The more I think about this, especially with how bad so many of these young quarterbacks have been, I'm really starting to drift back towards quarterbacks need to sit for 1 to 2 years, depending on their age, depending on the time in college. If you started 4 years in college, you may not really need to sit. But if you started 1-2 years in college, you probably should sit 1-2 years in the pros. Like,
yeah, because
we're reaching a point where quarterback play coming in is so bad, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah, for sure. Because like a lot of these guys, like let's say a Matt Jones, he only started like 1 year when it was Alabama, no? So like the game reps matter. Like as much as we don't want to admit it, those reps matter. So just seeing how different defenses play you, like you see a whole lot more the more games you play, obviously, especially at that younger age. Like I'm sure Sam Darnold, if you ask him, he would have appreciated sitting a couple of those years, because look at him now after he essentially sat for what was it, on the Panthers and then the 49ers. Like just seeing how games are played, the certain defenses, how the players prepare during the week, like, all that stuff matters.
First off, what up, B? From our boy Keith. And I agree with you wholeheartedly, man. I think that historically it made a lot of sense because college offenses historically were very basic and pro offenses were so much more complex. And then for a while, they started playing so much pro style offense in college that guys were way more prepared coming into the league. And you could tell within 2 years if a guy was a bust or not. And now I feel that pro style offense has gone out of vogue in college completely, to the point that these guys are not prepared. Tom Brady has said it a bunch of times. And I think if, whatever anyone thinks about Tom Brady, I think if anyone is qualified to talk about the mechanics of playing the quarterback position, he is. And he has said many times that the way college football is played today is no longer conducive to NFL football. Yeah, and these kids have to learn.
Yeah, because a lot of them, like, there's a lot more athletically gifted younger QBs out there now. So like we're seeing a lot of read option or RPO plays where it's like you either handed it off quickly to the receiver or you're handing it off to your halfback. It's a lot of one read style of offense, and it's like that works when there's a big talent gap between you and the guys on that other side. But when you're in the NFL, like everyone's on that similar style of level. Like everyone was the best in their state or the best in their side of the country. It's like you can't exploit. So like it's a lot more of a cerebral aspect to certain things when it comes to like that NFL style of offense.
And you and me have talked about this many times, but that change in the way they're playing college has rendered Earnhardt Perkins almost obsolete, which is the most successful offense in the history of the NFL. That every single quarterback who ever threw for 5,000 yards was running a version of Earnhardt Perkins, whatever their team specific version of that, whatever their basis was. The point was they were running Earnhardt Perkins. And now we've reached a point where that entire offensive structure is basically obsolete in the NFL, not because it can't work, but because none of the quarterbacks coming into the league are capable of running it. And that's why, I don't want to talk about all of this yet, but like the reason that Mike McCarthy still wants to bring Aaron Rodgers back to the Steelers is because Mike McCarthy wants to run Earnhardt Perkins. And he knows 90% of the other available quarterbacks are not going to be able to do that. And so it is crazy because, again, you and me, during the prime of our loving Tom Brady era, watched a boatload of quarterbacks who made 10 reads at any time.
Yeah.
Because I've got up to 5 receivers, each of whom has up to 4 reads on each one. And they're, whatever the number is. Like what Brady and Rodgers and Breeze and even Phillip Rivers, and to a lesser extent, Eli Manning and Ben Roethlisberger were able to do, that shit is gone. Matt Stafford, he threw for 5,000 yards in these offenses, and these days, the receivers can't do it. That's why they went and got Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams, so that they could have 2 people who could do this. Because, it's just crazy to me that, like, I don't know. I'm not saying that we'll never see great quarterback play again, but we might have missed and to clarify, I'm sitting here, I'm saying Earnhardt Perkins over and over. To clarify, what I'm talking about is the Earnhardt Perkins offensive system, which is the quarterback and all offensive weapons having a route tree, basically a decision-based route tree based on what the defense is. So whereas most offense today is based on timing and 1 to 2 reads based on what they see from the defense, in an Earnhardt Perkins offense, every single skill position player has their own route tree and has their own set of decisions that they might make based on what the defense is. So the quarterback needs to know what every single skill position player may or may not do. So in this era, where quarterbacks cannot read defenses coming into the league, the idea that they might be able to memorize 60 routes on every given play, it's not going to happen. And that's why Tom Brady was the machine that he was, because he legitimately might not be human. He might be an alien because of the number of routes he can memorize. And so that's the point, is just that in this day and age, that doesn't exist anymore.
He's
so
Batman.
I'm nerding out.
Batman of quarterbacks. He's just give him prep time and he'll figure out what you're trying to do.
Have you seen any of these clips of him playing flag football?
I've seen a couple, yeah.
Dude, he's just out here throwing 50-yard dimes. I'm like, bro, I've said it before. I don't need him to come. I just want him to come back for a playoff run, Eric Weddle style. Just like 4 games. Just like how sick would it be? Like some team that's like, destined to be like imagine that Justin Herbert gets injured. And I'm not rooting for injuries at all. I'm not. I hate injuries. I do. But imagine that Justin Herbert gets injured and Jim Harbaugh, the Michigan legend, calls Tom Brady, the other Michigan legend, and he says, Tom, I need you for 4 games. Like, I'm just saying, talk about a movie. I'm just saying.
Oh man,
it's a movie. That's all I'm saying. It would be legendary. Like I'm just saying. One other point I want to make on this real quick. The Kirk Cousins thing. Kirk Cousins' agent is the greatest agent of all time. Like this dude,
salesman.
Yeah, I did the math one time. Kirk Cousins, his contracts going from Washington to Minnesota, those 5 years, were the same money that Mike Conley made at that time on the largest contract in NBA history. Kirk Cousins literally made NBA guaranteed money. That's what Kirk Cousins' agent did. So get yourself Kirk Cousins' agent if you want something though. That's all I'm saying.
Oh man.
All right. This one I'm saving for you. This is a special one. This is an important one to us for the 4 to 5 year run. But I just want to know your thoughts before we dive into the larger discussion. Bump and Run Gilmore retires.
Yes.
Stephon, one of the greatest corners of all time.
Yeah.
Thoughts? I just want to know where does your head go when you think about Stephon Gilmore?
Well, I remember the signature play versus the Jacksonville Jaguars on that 4th down when he made that pass breakup and he lunged into the air to swat that ball down. That's the first thing that comes to mind for me personally. That's what ultimately got us into the Super Bowl. Especially that was a defensive year for us too, if I'm not mistaken. Was that the year we lost to the Eagles?
Yeah, unfortunately.
All right, I'm thinking about the year following that, but that was his first year with us too. And like I remember, it was a little bit rocky to start because I think they were just having him playing like the zone scheme, and then I think it was like somewhere in like the second quarter of the season where Bill's like, you know what, just take that side and I'll figure out everything else on the other side. And we just started clicking after that. Granted, the defense was still very shaky that year, to say the least. He was one of the constants for us for that season. And then he had the DPOY year where he was just shutting down everything that came his way. So he's one of the best. One of the best.
The funny thing for me is what I think about most when I think of Stephon Gilmore, and this is dumb, but it's true, is I think of when he was signed. Because I remember when the Bills drafted him and Bill Belichick was just repeatedly over and over complimentary. Stephon Gilmore is an incredible corner. He's the kind of guy that he just, every time we played the Bills, he would never stop talking about how he loves Stephon Gilmore. And then Steph goes to free agency and like, it's one of the first 3 contracts announced is the Patriots signed Steph Gilmore to a 4-year, $64 million deal, which at that time is top of the fucking cornerback market money. Bill Belichick never did this shit. And I was like, we just went out. Not only did we just go sign the best corner available, we also took him from the Bills, which means he's going to be 10 times better with us. Because you just took him from the Bills, and he was, and that like 4 to 5 year stretch is one of the best stretches that any quarterback has ever had all time. I mean, number one, a quarterback winning Defensive Player of the Year in the modern era is fucking unheard of. That belongs to basically defensive ends and defensive tackles. Very rarely anyone else at this point. And for Steph to win that from the corner. I mean, he was that year, you couldn't, he was literally, it was, the Jets had the no-fly zone supposedly with Revis. Yeah. That was what Steph Gilmore actually was. You could not do anything to this guy. And, the Patriots went to what, like 3 Super Bowls in his first 3 years? Like, Steph was the man. And, again, I don't love the way Bill treated him on his way out, as Bill always has with veterans. But, again, this is a dude who, again, 2-time All-Pro, Defensive Player of the Year as a corner in this era. One question I asked you in prep for this is, and this is, we have to dig, but I'm just curious. Is he approaching top 5 all time for you? Like if you look at who are the best cornerbacks of all time, does Steph Gilmore rate on your list? And the funny thing is, they really went deep on this list here. And I did forget Champ Bailey in the list I sent you, which is, that's on me. I did fuck that one up. But
that was an interesting list. I am not going to lie. Revis should be a little bit higher up there. This list right here, Revis is way too low. Yeah. This list is so the list here. This list is Mel Blount. It's like, come on, this is 70s stuff. Mel Renfro again. This is all respect to old school teams, but like Charles Woodson should be. He belongs there. He belongs there. Richard Lane was a thug. Clothesline receivers. No, man.
Rod Woodson should probably be here, but I think he should be more like 6.
Yeah, he's a little too high, but he definitely should be on that list.
Yeah, Richard Lane. But I think looking at these names, I think Steph Gilmore is
he's in that close conversation. Then, if based on those names, he definitely should be in that conversation, in my opinion.
Ty Law should be on this list. Like Ty Law is one of the most underrated cornerbacks of all time. He was the pass defense anchor of 3 Super Bowl teams. Like I don't understand. Ty Law is so disrespected just because he didn't have 10 interceptions in the season. It's because nobody wanted to fucking throw at him.
Yeah.
But
I think Jalen Ramsey should be in that conversation as well, in my opinion.
Interesting.
Yes.
So you're not thrown off by Jalen Ramsey being traded repeatedly?
No. I think the fact that he is
traded more than James Harden.
I think the fact that he is being traded speaks to how talented or valuable he can be to a team. Like we have to remember what he was doing from what was it, like 2017 to like 2022. Like he if you wanted the perfect cornerback, his intangibles was that. Before we got Patrick Surtain, I believe he was like the cream of the crop when it came to cornerbacks. I thought him and Stephon Gilmore were like the 2 best at the time.
And I agree with that. I just feel like the fact that he's been traded repeatedly must have some bearing on how people view him. Like, yes, people have always been willing to give up picks for him, but other teams have always been willing to get they're like, yep, we'll take the pick. Yep, you can have Jalen Ramsey. And in the Jaguars situation, I understand they got 2 first-round picks for a player. In the NFL, you can pretty much always take that for any player that's not a quarterback.
You know how it is for the cornerback position. It's very hard for a corner to be elite for a long period of time, just based on the nature of that position.
It's true.
And it's why you see a lot of them end up converting to safety, because while what they may lack in that same physical prowess they once had of just being able to run backwards with the fastest receivers, they make up for with the more cerebral approach to the game as they get older and they can't do certain things they used to do.
Charles Woodson did. Yeah.
Yeah. And Rod Woodson. I think they're like the 2 best when it came to going from cornerback to safety.
Richard Sherman should also be on this list, right? No? Okay.
I have my reservations about Richard Sherman. I feel like he greatly benefited from Earl Thomas and Cam Chancellor. I feel like...
he was an all-pro in San Francisco, too.
But we watched it. It was not the same. It wasn't. It also helps that he has Nicholas Bosa and Fred Warner holding things down in the front where you don't even have to cover for that long.
I mean, but it's also, at a certain point, like you can only play in the situations that you're in. I mean, he certainly wasn't bad in San Francisco.
He wasn't. But when it comes to the guys that we're looking at, he wasn't really that, like, in terms of like being able to man up on someone. Like that was always a big knock. He didn't travel. It's just I'm doing what I'm doing over here, and if you want to throw it over here, it's more likely gonna be an interception.
Like I would say, and that's fair. I would say Dion is the best corner of all time.
Yeah.
I would say Champ Bailey is second.
Okay.
And then it starts to get kind of opinion based because Rod Woodson has an argument with all of his interception. Charles Woodson has an argument with his longevity. Darrelle Revis has a longevity with the height of his success as an All-Pro. I think it gets to be opinion, but I also think Steph Gilmore, again, a defensive player of the year, one of the best defenses in the league multiple years in a row. The way that he controlled everything, I do think that if you look at the advanced numbers, I think that he deserves more merit in this field than he's gotten. But I would also say the same thing about Aqib Talib. I think that Aqib Talib is one of the most underrated cornerbacks of all time, as much as I despise him for leaving New England for Denver and everything. Aqib Talib was an incredible player who multiple years in All-Pro you couldn't throw on him at all. Yeah. And he's not on any of these lists. Yeah. And so I do think that some of these things really are missing some of the great modern corners. Because like you said, like what does a corner really have? 3 or 4 truly great years? So, but I just thought it was interesting because I feel like a lot of people who could be on this list are really missing. A lot of people in the modern era who were truly great are nowhere near here. Would you take Revis or Gilmore, career-wise?
That's a hard one, man. Just because he left us, I'm going to go with Gilmore.
Well, and I actually, the thing is, I agree because I think that while Revis's height may have been higher at his absolute height, I think that Revis's absolute height was only 2 seasons. And I think that his name carried him through a lot more years where he actually wasn't nearly as good because he was okay with the Patriots. He sucked the year in Tampa Bay before he went to New England. After he left, everyone forgets he left the Jets not for New England. He left for Tampa Bay. Then after 1 year in Tampa Bay, he was like, I'm going to get the fuck out of here. And he signed with New England. Yeah. And then he went back to the Jets after that. But the thing is, when he went back to the Jets, he was never quite Darrelle Revis again. He was good with New England, but he wasn't All-Pro. I think that while Darrelle Revis's height might have been higher, I think that Gilmore's prime was longer. And I think that he was a bigger factor in more seasons. And I think that Steph Gilmore not being on this list is an insult to him. Because I just think he's a better corner than Darrelle Revis. I do.
It's the age-old debate of the longevity versus the higher peak. It's the same thing with the whole Jerry Rice and Randy Moss thing that we were talking about a couple.
But Revis's height is 1 year. It's not 3-4 years. It's 1 year. Like, who gives a shit that he was incredible in a year where the Jets, didn't make the playoffs? Who gives a shit? Like Revis's career was nothing until he went to New England. And it doesn't, all of his whatever social media, it doesn't, does anyone even talk about him anymore? No one remembers him. He's the only people who remember him are us because we make fun of Jets fans for it. He doesn't matter. Gilmore's better. I'll stand by that shit. Why does Mike McCarthy believe that Aaron Rodgers should be his quarterback? How is this a possible thing in 2026? After we watched what happened last year, how is it possible? Am I insane? Am I just
He probably thinks that he's better than Mike Tomlin, I guess. Maybe he feels like he'll be able to get more out of Roger. I don't know.
This is a battle of the mics. I do not care what. I don't care about Super Bowls. I don't care about winning. I care about having more wins than Mike Tomlin. Somehow I believe that argument. I just the Steelers hiring Mike McCarthy in the first place is like, can you imagine anything dumber? Like, why? Like,
should have went younger, not older.
Well, that's the thing. That's what they've always done.
Mm-hmm.
They had, Bill Cowher was there forever. Tomlin was there forever. They've always hired the young up and coming dude who's going to be there for 15 to 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
And this time they're like, no, let's hire a 65-year-old who was terrible at his last job. Like, what are we? I don't even. You know what? Sometimes I sit here and go, this doesn't make any sense. And I'm trying to make sense out of something that's never going to make sense. And there's no. I guess we should just revel in the fact that the Steelers will always be terrible. And that's really what it is. I mean, there's no, like, what are they even doing? They're just getting older. They're not improving the roster in any way. They're not getting younger. They're not, I mean, I literally, the Steelers' last 3 years, I legitimately, other than the DK Metcalf thing, I legitimately have no concept what the fuck they are doing.
Was I on this show when I said how as good as the Mike Tomlin's no losing seasons were, I felt like that was holding them back from getting like a generational player? Because it's like you're exactly like the fact that you're going, was it 8-8 or like 9-7 for all those years? You're not good enough to compete for a championship, but you're also not shit enough to get a high draft pick, to get somebody who can actually make a ground impact on your team. So I feel like that kind of set them back, because like you're expected to hit on free agents and hit on those lower draft picks you have and second round talent, sure, but it's like, is that, just a Band-Aid solution?
Yeah. When you could take 1 year, be bad, and add a generational type play, because we all know how much impact a generational type player on a rookie contract, like, it's everything. And they're just like, we're too good for that. We don't ever have losing seasons. And it's just like, yeah, but
you're not good enough to compete for the championship either.
I mean, it's weird. It's just weird. Like, again, I'm not mad that the Steelers put themselves in the situation where they pat themselves on the back when they go 9-8 every year. I think it's hilarious. I just think it's weird. I don't understand. Like, if I was a Steelers fan, I feel like I would be losing my mind. And they're sitting here like, we don't have losing seasons around here. It's like, you won a Super Bowl like 16 years ago. You should be annoyed. Like, you should be very annoyed. You're supposed, because, like, it's hard to win a Super Bowl. If they were in the AFC Championship often and they've been close, they're nowhere fucking near it. And they're like 9-8. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, I don't know. Remember, they used to be proud of like actually winning championships. Oh, we got the most rings of all time now. And it's like, now it's, we're happy to have our winning season. Like, the bar is dropped.
The only thing that would have been funnier than hiring Mike McCarthy would have been hiring Jeff Fisher.
Oh,
It's the only thing.
boy.
That was the one thing, just because then they would have been
He's
going
still
from,
coaching?
No, I don't think so. But just you never know. Like Jeff Fisher could be 150 years old and a corpse, and someone might hire him. That's how good his contacts in the media are.
Mercy.
I remember when, because the Titans went to the Super Bowl in 2000 and they lost on the, Kevin Dyson reaching for the end zone, which, by the way, off topic. Have you ever watched the NFL Fever 2002 intro video?
Yeah.
With him? I think I made you watch it once, right?
Yeah.
Incredible video. But the point is, the Titans almost win the Super Bowl that year. They lose. Fisher's a hot coaching candidate. They lose like 10 games a year for the next 6 years, and eventually the Titans fire him. And Charlie casually goes on CBS and goes, Jeff Fisher is the hottest coaching candidate in years. Because he had so many friends in the media, and they just would keep, propping him up. And it's good to be nice, baby.
Hey, man.
But yeah, I've said it before. That 2002, the NFL Fever 2002 video. I'm gonna play that on the way out of here today. It's one of the best intro videos to any video game ever. And it has very little to do with anything that we're talking about right now. It doesn't matter. Jeff Fisher, blah blah blah.
I feel like has the Steelers actually been title contenders since maybe Troy Polamalu was still playing at his height? No.
Yeah.
Or would you say maybe that 1 year when the triple Bs, Brown, Ben, and Bell?
Yeah, I mean, I think the Killer Bees have an argument. I mean, Antonio Brown caught 145 passes that season. Yeah. 145 passes is ridiculous for 1,600 something yards. That receiving season by Antonio Brown is truly insane. It's funny that it's not even the most yards anyway, because Calvin Johnson got 1,800 something or 1,900 something. Le'Veon Bell was amazing. That team was amazing. The Patriots just beat the shit out of them every time they played them.
Yeah.
But I think it's a legitimate, because here's the thing is, they lost to the Jags that year.
Yeah.
And didn't even play us.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I would give
bad,
them an argument of greatness, but they didn't even make it to play us.
Yeah. Also, losing Ryan Shazier, that hurt them as well. You remember Ryan Shazier?
Yeah, but the thing is they couldn't score in that game. So Shazier not being there didn't change anything for that. Like they couldn't move the fucking ball. And by the time Antonio Brown was actually getting first downs, like the game, it was so late. We almost lost to the Jags that year. Remember that game was 20-10.
That was the Saxonville times.
Yeah, that game was like 20-10, and Jacksonville was dominating. And Brady threw 2 touchdowns, and like the last 8 minutes to win that game. That's one of the greatest AFC Championship games I've ever seen. Like it gets forgotten. Because we lost that Super Bowl to the Eagles, but that was a legendary Brady performance in the fourth quarter yet again.
There was a lot of fans calling for the collusion because there was that one fumble that kind of got called back when they returned it for the touchdown. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I mean,
think Deion Lewis was the culprit in that one.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like, okay, fine. Then in 2004. When Champ Bailey intercepted the pass and he took it down to the other end, Ben Watson knocked it out of bounds, and it should have been a fumble and a touchback for the Patriots. So I can play that game too. I can also do that. So, it's like whenever people mention the tuck rule. Okay, Charles Woodson punched Tom Brady in the helmet on that play, and it should have been roughing the passer. So if you want to go shoulda, woulda, coulda, I can play that game too. So I just don't even. I'm not even listening to it. I'm really not. I'll tell you one question I have. This one I'm actually very interested to know your opinion. ESPN has Ty Simpson in their second round. So Mendoza is the only quarterback in the first round. Given that Dante Moore is going back to Oregon, I think that would have been different. They have Ty Simpson as the first pick of the second round to the Jets, and they even mentioned Geno Smith in the draft column, which is just. Do you agree that Ty Simpson should be in the second round? Do you think he's a first rounder? Do you like him, not like him? Any thoughts on Ty Simpson? Just curious.
I didn't see too much of him outside of the playoffs, so I feel like it's the Alabama bias. I think they're saying the talent around him is what made him do the things he did. So, yeah, so be it. I guess it's also a reflection on all the other like skills positions that I feel like a lot of teams find more valuable. Plus, like we're at that point right now where it's like, how many teams really still need to draft a QB over other positions?
That's true. It is true that this is not necessarily a year where quarterback need is through the roof. And I agree. Like I've never been a Ty Simpson guy. I thought he was benefiting from Alabama bias. I was just shocked to see that he had fallen to the second round in a lot of mock drafts. I didn't anticipate that. I thought that the Alabama bias and scouting and all those things was going to push him up, and that he would be a top 5 pick. And so for him to fall to the second round, I'm honestly shocked. I think it's a good evaluation by NFL teams for once to recognize, these Alabama quarterbacks are not nearly as good as they look.
Maybe if Arch Manning actually had a good season, maybe we would have seen a little bit more quarterback interest. But the fact that he didn't really live up to the expectation a lot of people thought he'd have, and then he ended up deciding to stick around for one more year, I feel like that also plays a factor.
He was fucking horrible. I saw nothing that translated to great NFL play. Like Arch Manning has to be like the worst super hyped prospect I've seen in a very long time. He was fucking terrible.
He had a couple of good like here and there one-off games the year before
against like SMU.
Oh, true. But like a lot of people were like, "Oh, he should probably start over." Who was it? Quinn Ewers at the time.
Yeah, and they were right to start Quinn Ewers that whole time because Arch Manning's fucking terrible, and I don't care that he's part of the Manning family. He is horrendous, and like I hope so badly that the Jets take him number 1 overall next year. I would give anything for the Jets to take Arch Manning number 1 overall.
The Giants get Eli, the Jets get Arch.
Oh, it would warm my fucking heart. I would sing songs. I would compose a play about it. I would do skywriting in New York. Arch Manning is garbage. I really hope that happens. If Arch Manning gets picked number 1 overall by the Jets, I will make my New York Jets hate podcast a daily show. And I will just chronicle all of the ways that they're going to fail and do fail. I will do it. Okay. Are you ready to do some NBA stuff? Any last NFL thoughts before we talk some quick NBA?
I got nothing right now.
All right. So, Luka averaged 37, 8, and 7 this month.
Mm-hmm.
Do we give a shit? Or It's all about high volume until he wins a championship. I don't care. Like, I'm the certified Luka hater. So I'm asking someone who is not a certified Luka hater, should we be respecting the fact that this dude just scored 37 for a fucking month? Or is it all about the fact that the Lakers let him take every shot? His usage percentage is 8 trillion. You know, I'm just curious. What are you? Because I'm a hater. Everyone knows what I think is a hater.
Well, you
As
have
a
to give it
non-hater.
respect because look who he was beating during that month. Like they went on a run where they were facing a bunch of teams that are in the playoffs and they beat them. So you have to give respect to that. But is it sustainable is the
I
question.
mean, I don't have to, but okay.
Well, of course you don't because you're a hater, but your average Joe has to give some type of respect to that. Is it sustainable? That is the other question. Because some of us who may have seen the game or not, but it seems like his hamstring was an issue and he had to leave that shellacking to OKC. I had him as a top 2 candidate for the MVP before this game. I feel like
Wow. Okay.
I thought
him and Shea, right?
yes, and
Yeah.
I thought this game would heavily impact how people look at that MVP going forward, and the fact that he got smacked before he even got that injury. I feel like that kind of shuts the door on any of that.
I mean, I think it's fair. I mean, he definitely has played his way into the race, especially as Jokic has not been the same,
Mm-hmm.
you know, since coming back from the bone bruise. It's definitely, I mean, you know, you mentioned it, like this fucking 65 game rule is ruining everything. Like,
Yeah.
because now we have to go, oh wait, how many games did he play? Is he eligible?
Mm-hmm.
Is he eligible for, like, it's, I hate all of that shit because I just want to decide. Because here's the thing, if you're the most valuable player in 48 games, because in those 48 games you were more valuable than someone else is in 82 games, that's what it is, man. Doesn't matter. It is what it is.
Let's say I won all those games. Let's say somebody started out the season winning, I don't know, 80% of those 40 games. And then he gets hurt. Because he didn't get that 65 game mark, that doesn't matter anymore.
Right. Well, that's the thing is, someone, according to this rule, a player could go 50-0 and average 40 points a game and 10 rebounds and 10 assists and put up Wilt Chamberlain numbers and not win MVP because they got injured for the season, even though everyone would agree they were the best player in the league. Like, the rule is fucking stupid. And the thing is that, like, it costs dudes money. Not that we should ache over millionaires losing, you know, their extra bonus money or whatever, but nonetheless,
it gives somebody who doesn't deserve that money the money.
Right. You pump up the contracts of players who don't deserve it, and the guys who did earn it are punished for not forcing themselves to play through injury. This shit is fucking weird. And
it was,
you know,
a poor attempt to counter the load management debate.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
And I think Shea's going to win MVP at this point. I don't think I think you're right. I think that I think Shea's got it.
I feel like Jaylen Brown deserves more consideration than Wemby does.
Okay. I thought you were about to say more consideration. I was about to agree. More consideration than Wemby.
Yes.
Talk to me.
I've seen recently that Wemby is now, according to the NBA site, he's at the top of the MVP ladder. And it just so happens it's off after he made his claim to the media, which, by the way, I think is corny. Like, we've never seen anybody else do this before. So, but sure, whatever, because it's Wemby, we're okay with it. I think that Spurs team is very good without him. Like, I'm not even trying to sugarcoat it. That's a good team when he was out for a bunch of those games. And even in those games versus OKC, which he likes to bring up, that team could have won without him. Just the way they were playing, like that was an entire group effort. Like I feel like him bringing up those OKC game doesn't really do him a service, because for a couple of those games he wasn't playing like the best Wemby that we have seen before. Versus with Jaylen Brown now, I was one of the people, I thought that this Celtics team was going to struggle without Tatum. I think there was a bunch of people who thought so, because this was considered or supposed to be considered a gap year for them to, just let him do whatever he wants, maybe get a decent draft pick and bring Tatum back the following year. The fact that he came back in and of itself is remarkable. And I think he won Player of the Week or something like that recently. So hats off to him. But how Jaylen Brown was playing before Tatum came, and now that he's back, he proved a lot of people wrong, because there are a lot of people who said, oh, he can't really carry the team. Oh, he doesn't have the left hand. We've seen the blooper reel of him fumbling with his left hand. So there was no denying there was some cause for concern. But the fact that now that he was at the top of everybody's scouting reports and putting up the numbers that he was putting up, has the team second. I believe they're still second in the West, or in the East, sorry. I think that's something that just can't be ignored. I feel like he deserves more consideration than Wemby does.
I wholeheartedly agree with that. I mean, the thing about Jaylen Brown is, I think we all agree he is not like the most talented dude in the league, but he's a lot like Victor Oladipo before Victor Oladipo fell apart, in that he's just going to work harder than 90% of people, and he's just going to put in more, he's going to put in more energy and put in more time and more effort, and his commitment to defense is the same as his commitment to offense. And so,
speaking of which, whenever he faces Luka, you could see he foams at the mouth, because if you look at the finals, I remember there was a bunch of plays where Luka's doing his, bringing up the ball, and Jaylen Brown's right on his hip pocket, punching it out and going to get a quick little lay-ins. Stuff like that matters.
And that's a big reason he won Finals MVP. Yeah. Is it because he made Luka's life a living hell? Mm-hmm. And I agree with you. Like, I don't think that Jaylen Brown is, the most talented or whatever, but he works so hard and he does so much that he just imposes his will on the game.
For sure.
And I agree with you wholeheartedly. And the thing that kills me about Wemby is, you hear these people talk about him and they're like, oh, he trained with these Shaolin monks. He went to China. He shaved his head. He learned karate. This guy's different. Who fucking cares? What does that have to do with basketball? And then they'll go, this guy, you've never seen a guy, he works so hard. He's 7'5", and he works so hard. Everyone acts as though the fact that he's 7'5" is due to how hard he works. Like, he works so much harder than other NBA players, and thus he is better because he is taller, because he achieved more. It's like, dude, like I just want Wemby to one day, like, he's like, I'm the greatest of all time already. I'm going to change. And he says all these arrogant things, and it's funny or whatever, but it's like, legitimately, it's only because you're so tall. And not that he's not skilled in all these other things, but like, when I hear NBA people talk about him as if no one has ever worked as hard as him and that's why he's successful, I'm like, no, it's because he's fucking two guys in a trench coat. That's the reason. It's because there's a dude sitting on another dude's shoulders in there. That's the reason he's this good. Like, come on. Like, I just can't stand the, like, oh my God. Can you imagine that a guy would go to another country and work out with something? Like, also, like, the whole working out with monks thing, what the fuck does that have to do with basketball? How does that make you better at basketball?
They're making it seem like he's some like Zen master and he's like inner peace or something like that.
Well, what are you, Doctor Strange? Get the fuck out of here. This shit is so dumb, man. Like, yeah, he's on the court with the sling ring, like, just like He's Wong, get out here. Like, yeah. I just
They're saying that he's not even putting up prime AD numbers, and they're making it seem like this has never been seen before.
Right.
Like I even seen
I see these things on Instagram. They're like, he had 20 points and 5 blocks. I'm like, so? Like
he's doing what he should be doing with that 12-foot wingspan.
Yeah. He should have like 30 blocks a game. What are you fucking talking about? Like
I seen this IG video where they're talking about, there's this new defensive tactic where, normally there's guys who do no-look passes, but what Wemby is doing, where he's doing no-look blocks, he's making it seem like he's going his big man, and then when you go up for a shot, he turns around and blocks. I'm like, tell Bam Adebayo to try that. You think he's going to be able to do that?
He's alien fucking arms. Like,
obviously, he's able to do that because look at his wingspan. Look how tall
he literally shouldn't be allowed to be in the league. Like,
you can't replicate that.
Like, when he came in the league, they should have just been like, nah, you can't be here. Sorry, man. You can't. Or they should have created a rule and be like, you can play 15 minutes a game, but that's it. You can't like he's such a ridiculous. It's absurd. It's and yeah, but it just drives me nuts watching people act as though it's about his incredible talent and not about the fact that his arms are so fucking long he could just grab a chunk of the moon and pull it down and tell us whether or not it's cheese. Like, he's just capable of doing that. Like, his arms, I feel like if my son saw Victor Wembanyama, he'd be like, is that a giraffe? Like, he's the tallest person ever. Like, it's ridiculous. And it just, good for him. It's an advantage. We all have to figure out how to deal with it. But hearing NBA announcers act like all of his defense is about his effort and not the luck of literally being born an insane, deformed alien human. Like, I don't know what to say about that. Like,
yeah, we need to cut it out. He's blessed with that length. Like, I'm sure he's definitely skilled. He works on his footwork, but that impact, like, I'm giving more credit to his measurables more than his skill.
I feel like if I ever met him, I feel like I would be comfortable talking shit to him. Because I'd be like, what are you gonna do? Punch me? It's gonna take 3 weeks for you to wind up. I'd be like, what are you gonna do, Gumby? You're gonna hit me? Like, number one, he hit Britney Spears. So I will never forgive him forever. You hit my childhood crush. You will pay in my world. There's no forgiveness ever. But seriously,
for the younger viewers, I know y'all see what Britney's doing now. I promise you, go back to the 90s, you'd have a completely different opinion about her.
I'm just saying. And look, I'm just saying, I also know, would I do this to beef stew? No. If I saw Isaiah Stewart in public, I'd be like, hello, sir. Good to see you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. What can I do for you, sir? I would be like, can I get you a drink? Can I get you some food? Can I get out of your way forever so you don't kill me? Like, if I saw beef stew, I would run for the hills. But I feel like if I saw Wemby, I would just be like, I would come up with every single joke that I could think of because I don't know. I hate him in a way that is ridiculous. And you know what? That's what makes him great, because you need someone in the league that you can just hate every time they say anything, every time they do anything. The league is better when there's a villain, and he's a very, very good villain because of his arrogance, because of the thing he says. The league is just better when there's a villain. And I think that Victor is going to be also the fact that he's French, like that just adds to the whole, like, because, just in America, we're such assholes about the French. Like, I just think that adds to the whole thing. Like, I think the guy's very good for the NBA. He really is. I just hate him. I don't want him to be injured. I want him to be healthy. I just want him to lose every single year by people punching him in the face and calling him Gumby. That's what I want. I don't. It's not logical. It's just what I want.
It's just what you
Any
want.
remaining thoughts? NBA, NFL, hot takes. Oh wait, hold on. Wait 1 second. Hold on. I have a new segment for us. Okay, hold on.
Oh, let's see it.
You're gonna like this. Okay.
Let's go.
This is the Power Bat hot take segment. Okay. All right.
Oh wait.
This is the Power Bat, and in the Power Bat hot take segment, we give hot takes. So that's the Power Bat. It is the size of 47 children and 300 grown men combined. And in the Power Bat segment, we only give the hottest of takes. So right now, you have to come up with a hot take. Otherwise, you have failed the Power Bat segment. And we cannot have the initial Power Bat segment be a failure. But I'll give you a moment while I give you my hot take. Here is my hot take. The University of Arizona blows out the University of Michigan. Both my boys, but Arizona basketball first. Blows out the University of Michigan. UConn blows out Illinois. And then in the greatest basketball final of all time, in 4 overtimes, Arizona beats UConn on a Jaden Bradley 30-foot three-pointer. Okay? That is the Power Bat hot take. That's what I'm talking about. That's the next 3 days of Arizona basketball over this weekend. I'm telling you. That's the Power Bat hot take. That's what I'm firing. That's the smoke we're bringing to this segment. So, give it to me. Come on. And I didn't tell him about this, by the way. Of course I didn't. I literally just walked into the room with a giant inflatable bat. No one knew I was going to do that. One person knew I was going to do that. It was the person who gave me the giant inflatable bat. But anyway. Doesn't count.
I've got to find a way to match this. All right. Let's.
And I think mine, despite the strength of it, I think it's fair. And I think it's real. I believe in my boys. I am going Monday. If Arizona makes it to the national championship, I'm going to Tucson, Arizona, where all of the 21-year-olds will be hammered and partying during the national championship. And I am going to go party amongst them and celebrate, assuming Arizona wins. And I'm going to run away, assuming Arizona loses, because I would assume that my car is going to be lit on fire. It's going to be a real mixed bag, depending on what happens. All right, give it to me. Give me the take. Let's go. Give me the Power Bat hot take. I need to come up with like a graphic. It's like Power Bat. We'll get there. We'll get there.
I like it. It ain't as hot as yours, but I'm gonna go with perhaps I think Charlotte Hornets win their play-in round versus the Raptors, and we get a 7-game upset over the Celtics. There we go.
Yes.
There we go.
That's what we're talking about. That's a Power Bat hot take. And I'm going to tell you something else. I love that because I got to be honest with you. The Hornets are fucking good. They are. That team is coming out of nowhere. And dude, if they made the conference finals, I would not be shocked. Like this team, they have something going, man.
Knipple is nice, man.
It's the Knipple and LaMelo and Miller, like yes. All right. We got approval for both the takes worthy of the Power Bat.
Let's go.
I like it. That's how we started. But I'm with this. Listen, if I had I need a cosign bat because I'm going to cosign that one because I agree wholeheartedly. I love that. And the idea that like Brandon Miller might just work Jason Tatum coming off his injury and that it would just be a series the Celtics were woefully unprepared for, I buy that shit. I love that. You heard it here first. Hornets in the conference finals in the East. Hornets versus Cavs. That's who.
Oh boy. We're losing to who is it? We're losing to Atlanta Hawks. Watch, man. We're gonna lose.
Man, Jalen Johnson is good, man. Boy, I said it to Keith before. I would take Jalen Johnson over Paolo Banchero. Like if you were asking me right now, like I'd take Jalen Johnson, man. He is good.
Wow.
He is good, baby. All right, we got our power back hot takes in. We're gonna see how it goes. We're gonna see you here next week.
Yes, sir. I'll be back.
All right. We're gonna close with the NFL Fever 2002 anthem, which I don't know if it's gonna play the music. We're gonna find out how it goes, and then I'm gonna play the outro. But I'm gonna do it because what the hell?
Yes,
Why the hell not? Let's do it. I don't think this one will get me banned. This is a video game intro from Xbox in 2002.
Glory days.
I mean, welcome to the Terror Dome.
Holy. Back when big hits were allowed.
Go Bucks. Kill the Jets. Couldn't get away with that today.
Oh, definitely not. Great graphics back then. That's great. The turbo.
Woo! I'm telling you, that's hot shit. Next week.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Peace. Guac Talks.